welcome to a day-late edition of Comic Book Hangover. I'm going to be going through a couple of things here with the new books that I picked up, as well as, well, first I want to talk about Marvel previews and DC previews and the big boy, the big previews magazine catalog. These are books that are available at your local comic shop, and these are very, very valuable tools, every single one of them. With these magazines here, you can make up and add to and drop off books from your pull list months ahead of time. This comes in handy for your local comic shop as well, because then they know roughly what to, what numbers to order. How many copies of particular books to order is what I mean to say. So if you see these magazines at your local comic shop, definitely grab them. Many places will say if you purchase this, which I don't think it costs too much, but if you purchase this one, you get these ones for free. Some places do it, some places don't. So it's always a good idea to check with the local comic shop. So that's my PSA for this episode. So if you find these at your local comic shop, they come out every month. These are the best way to really solidify your books. And also with all these hot books coming out when they get announced, and if you use apps like that Key Collector app, they'll put them up on their Key Collector app thing, as soon as books are announced. Probably try to help hype them up, whatever. But those books that are announced early are in these magazines. So this is the best way to use that app and these magazines, and make sure you don't miss out on the books you want to get. So that said, let's get into the books that I picked up this week. Some good, some bad, some ugly stuff. All right, so starting off with good. Annihilation Scourge continues this week with 2 one-shots, Fantastic Four and Nova. These books are great. Now, the Annihilation series of books, the Annihilation series of events, are done very well. You've got, traditionally, you've got 2 bookends, and then you've got either mini-series or one-shots that go, that kind of progress the story. The best thing about the Annihilation events is they're all self-contained, which means unlike a lot of Marvel events where you've got your main 6 or 8 issue series, and then you've got all the books that it crosses over into, and then you've got all the mini-series that you have to get. Then as the story goes on, Marvel keeps adding more one-shots and more miniseries and more crossovers, and then eventually you're spending more on an event from Marvel Comics than you are on a mortgage payment. It's ridiculous. But if you're looking for something that's self-contained, that's fun, it's well-written, well-drawn, and I gotta say for this one here, has those classic editors boxes when they make references to things that happen in previous Annihilation events, in previous issues of the Fantastic Four. It's got that little box, a little asterisk, a little box that says, see this issue. Those are awesome. I miss those. That's actually how I got into comics when I started back in 1990. We didn't have the internet, we didn't have Wikipedia, we just had local comic shops and back issues. I would read a book, they would make a reference to something, and that little editor's box would show up, and I would go to my LCS and I would look for that issue, and that's how I kind of expanded my comics. That's the way it's supposed to be done. But Annihilation Scourge, really well done. With Fantastic Four, it does touch on events from Fantastic Four when Johnny Storm was killed, and his body, he got trapped in the negative zone and was killed, and you kind of see a little bit more of what he went through when Annihilus was basically torturing the guy. And it's actually a really good character study of Johnny Storm. We normally see him as the fun-loving goofball. In this one here, you find out that not everything that happens to him is something that he could get over easily. There's certain things that happen to him and happen to his team that do bother him. He just chooses not to show it. So a good character study on Johnny Storm. Great book, great art. Nova. You've got Annihilus leaving the negative zone, going to the main positive universe of the 616, looking for Nova to help him. This one was really interesting because you've got a reference to the ending of the original Annihilation where Nova was the one who killed Annihilus. And I guess, spoiler alerts, I don't know, the book came out like over 10 years ago. So there's a reference in here where during a conversation, Annihilus mentions that he thought the Novas were powerful, because now this Nova, Richard Rider, he's hit rock bottom. He's drinking. He's basically a loser now, and hopefully this is his way to redeem himself. But Back to the conversation, Annihilus mentions that Novas were great warriors, that at one time he himself was killed by a Nova. And that's a reference to the original Annihilation, the ending of it. He doesn't remember that it was this Nova who did it, because after he was killed, he was sort of reincarnated in a new body. So I guess that means that not all of his memories transfer to a new body. But it's cool. It was another really good, really well done story. We're kind of getting to know a little bit more about Annihilus with this as well, and how his mind works and how he sees the people in the negative zone. So these books, really well done. Really good event. This is how it should be done. On the flip side, you've got the other Marvel event, mini event that's going on, that's involved with Amazing Spider-Man, and that is the 2099 event. I loved 2099. I've got the entire runs for some of them, Spider-Man, Ghost Rider, Doom, mostly, because those are the ones that really caught my attention. It's going through a few issues of Amazing Spider-Man, and then you've got some one-shots like Venom 2099 and Ghost Rider 2099. And this series, this is the exact opposite of Annihilation. This is the exact opposite of how an event like this should be done. In this one here, you've got your bookends. You've got 2099 Alpha and 2099 Omega, which are your bookends. It's going to be the beginning and the ending of the story. You've got these one-shots that happen, as well as some side story that's going on in Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man, that right now really does not have much to do with it. But you've got Dr. Doom in there, and it's always fun to see him. The difference between the 2099 event and the Annihilation event is, in the Annihilation event, the one-shots actually progress the story. They are part of the overall narrative. The problem with the 2099 books is these are all standalone stories. And in the case of like Ghost Rider 2099, they completely relaunch the character. And they add more of a supernatural bent to him, which we really didn't have that much of a supernatural bent to him. He wasn't really connected to any previous Ghost Riders before. Now he is, which kind of takes away from the interesting aspects of the character. However, not being one to say only bad things, Ghost Rider 2099 does have a kick-ass cover. And thanks to my local comic shop, who does weekly raffles, I was able to win the Ron Lim variant, which is also a kick-ass cover. So, I may not like the story, and this is just my opinion and my opinion alone. If anybody out there watching this is enjoying this event, great, I'm happy for you. I wish I could enjoy it as well. But to me, it's just not a very good event. I'm going to finish it out, because we only got a few more books to go. And then one of the upcoming books is a Doom 2099, and since he is more of an integral part of the event, I'm hoping his book actually is going to progress the story. With Venom 2099... it's basically more of the same. You got a girl this time who is injected with a symbiote. Series of events, the symbiote starts to talk to her, and they combine, and you see all the events of modern-day Venom stories with Eddie Brock, with Spider-Man, with Null, and then at the end of it, you have the symbiote with that silly little swirly on his face, saying God is here on Earth, and that's the end of the book. So it's really... it's a throwaway. It's a throwaway, and this would actually be a pretty good story if they weren't trying to tie it into the whole 2099 thing. So, 2099, very much a letdown. Annihilation, awesome book. Cannot wait to see where it goes. The other one that I picked up this week from Marvel, and I think this is my last Marvel book, Dr. Doom, number 3. A series that I wasn't going to pick up. I grabbed the second issue because I had a pretty decent Doom 2099 variant cover. And since I was planning on reading, I had to grab the first issue. This one I wasn't going to get, but you got Mephisto, you got Doom. When they're together, it's always kind of interesting to see how they interact with each other, because Doom being... and this is actually the first issue in this series, issue 3, where Doom is acting like Doom that we know, where he feels that he's there, he's going to do what he wants, and he doesn't care. But now he's dead, and he's in hell, and he's got to try to get his soul back from Mephisto. So this was a really good issue. The previous 2 issues were kind of but this one was a really good issue. I may actually pick up issue 4. We'll see when it comes out. But I also really like that cover. That is a nice cover. For a non-variant cover, this is a really nice cover. So, grab Shape of Elvira number 4. Yeah, number 4. This is the final issue of the series. I grabbed this. Actually, I didn't grab this cover. My LCS put it in my box for me, which is great because it's the cover that I wanted. This is an awesome cover. I'm going to get distracted if I keep looking at it because it's just absolutely beautiful. So this wraps up the story between her and the Gill-Man, which doesn't actually turn out to be the Gill-Man that we expected. Let's just say he is not exactly a he, and the plans of the people who are making this fake movie that was the backdrop for this whole story kind of fall through because the parts don't match. The parts don't work. So, but a really good story. It's just a 4-issue miniseries. It's done now. If you're looking for a good, fun, sort of one-and-done Elvira story, this is it. Starting this week, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, getting together. Now, this isn't the first time the Power Rangers and Turtles have met. This is the first time that the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and the Ninja Turtles have met. And this is a 5-issue miniseries. Each issue is going to have like at least 5 variant covers, which is really ridiculous. But I like this cover, so I'm going to just go with the regular covers. I really don't feel like investing that much money into this event. But this is a really good read. This was a lot of fun. It's nice to actually see that in this world, or whatever you want to call it, this alternate reality, the Turtles are aware of the Rangers, and the Rangers are sort of aware of the Turtles. It seems kind of one-sided there, but you've got Tommy leaving Angel Grove, going to New York, and through a series of events that we're not quite sure of, he winds up hooking up with the Foot Clan, and he fights for them. And then the Rangers show up while Tommy is fighting the Turtles, and you have your traditional, you gotta have it, the good guys versus the good guys before they realize they're both actually on the same team. So if you're looking for just something fun and you're really wanting to get your nostalgia kick going, this is the book for you. This was a lot of fun. This one, this is one of those books that I picked up the first issue, really was surprised how much I enjoyed it, and really also am surprised I'm continuing with it. This is the new miniseries from Archie Horror, Vampironica, New Blood, and out of all the covers that came out, this is the one I wanted. I made a special request to my LCS. They were able to pull it for me, and I'm very appreciative of it because this cover is awesome. So this picks up after the events of the Vampironica versus Jughead the Hunger miniseries. So Vampironica's back in her universe, in her reality, and she has an understanding, a little bit of understanding of what's going on. That there's multiple realities in the I guess we're going to call it the Archieverse. I don't know, but she also found out that there's a connection. There's a long line of vampires in her version of Riverdale, and she's trying to figure out what's going on, and she wants to basically. She's trying to solve a mystery as like why she wasn't told about this, and I'm assuming she's going to try to figure out a way to get out of it herself. So if you've read the first Vampironica miniseries and you liked it, and if you've read the Vampironica's Jughead the Hunger crossover event and you liked it, then you definitely need to get this. This, I don't know if this is the most valuable cover, but this to me was the best cover of the bunch. So to round off my my 12 for my wall, I picked up over the weekend a couple of issues rather, of Marvel Age. Marvel Age, to me it's kind of a throwaway series, but they have really good covers, and that's what this is. This is one of those books that I'll go and grab a back issue if I really like the cover. So I grabbed issue 13, apparently one of the first appearances of the character Dreadstar from Jim Starlin, and another one where I absolutely fell in love with this cover. Number 71. A preview of the Stan Lee Mobius Silver Surfer story, and I love that cover, so that's why I picked it up. All right, so those were the books that I picked up this week, and yeah, I'm sorry that there was so much. I don't know, just wasn't so excited. The 2099 event, it's killing me, and that it's one of those things where I'm hoping that it continues, that it not continues, that it gets better. And so I keep reading it thinking, well, maybe the next one will be better. Maybe the next one will be better. I picked up Conan. I wasn't going to get Conan. I was like, well, it's part of the event. Conan was a throwaway. Punisher, throwaway. Venom, throwaway. Ghost Rider, throwaway. So they're all throwaway stories. I'm hoping that it gets better. So going back to the beginning, I want to show you this as well. These preview magazines, if you get them, definitely go through them. This is what I do. I have these little flashcards, and on these flashcards, I write down all the books that I want to get from these 3 magazines. Myself, I always like to put the release date, the title, and the price, and then I get to add it up at the end. So I'm going to be spending over $100 in the month of February. Now, these are books that are coming out in February, so it gives you time to save up the money, gives you time to plan for them. Now, what I used to do when I was younger was I would have one of those big calendars, and as these things came out, I would write down on the dates what books were coming out and how much they were, and that way I knew each week how much I was going to be spending or how much to expect to spend. And that helped me kind of budget my comic book funds a little bit better. I might get back into that because this is getting out of hand. So anyway, enough of that. This video is running a little bit longer than I wanted it to. So let's go ahead and pause this. I'm going to slap the books up on the wall and we'll take a look at it and see how it goes. All right, there we go. Here's my wall. Sorry about the glare. So this week was really a mixed bag. I had some really good stuff. The Annihilation stuff I really enjoyed. Vampironica, really, I cannot believe I'm digging Vampironica as much as I am. We got Archie. It's a franchise I've really never had that much interest in. Veronica. Yeah, sorry, Veronica. Clearly a character I have little to no interest in. And then you got vampires. Some of the monsters that I just don't really care about. I'm more of a zombie guy myself. But for some reason, this series is really interesting to me. I'm really digging it. So check out Vampironica if you haven't. The Ninja Turtles Power Rangers crossover is a lot of fun. Doom actually is a lot more fun than I expected it to be. So again, I may pick up the next issue to see where that goes. But yeah, $20.99. If you're gonna grab it, maybe grab it for the covers because the stories really, honestly, are not that good. Annihilation, definitely a lot of fun. Now these Annihilation covers, just like with the original Annihilation, the main covers are going to be all connecting. So actually, I think this one is going to be the end here, and then you've got Nova, and then the other two I think are going to go in the middle. So maybe once they're all out, I'll put them together, and everybody can see what it looks like. So, but anyway, again, this video is running long, so I'm gonna cut it now. So, again, thanks for watching. Hopefully next week I'll have more positive than negative to say. I really hate having so much negative to say about books, especially these days. But yeah, thanks for watching. Feel free to comment, subscribe, like the video, share the video, and we will see you next week, hopefully not a day late.